Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to From Bromley with Love, the YouTube show. It's a podcast, I don't know, but we're going to call it the YouTube show all the same. I'm your host, Machel St. Patrick Hewitt. I was about to say the author, the editor, the writer, the whatever of From Bromley with Love. And with me, as ever, the only person I can ever call on when we do these shows, which should be every week, but we seem to do them every 6 months. Well, do you know what, Cole? By now, you're a Bromley historian in my mind, so I'm actually going to say Bromley historian, Colin Head. For those of you who are Bromley residents, Colin is the rightful heir to Muriel Searle. It's but in the but in the context of Bromley FC specifically. So, people, first things first. You've seen the intro. Just some things that I want to kind of just state at the start. So you would have seen in that intro the reference to From Bromley with Love, and the Substack page reference would have come up, etc. It's been all changed since the last time Colin and I checked in, which was at the end of last season. There's been a lot of changes on From Bromley with Love. From Bromley with Love has now moved to Counter Press Media, and hopefully a lot of you watching this are aware of the change. I kind of publicised it quite a lot, and in essence, what has happened is it's moved to a far more professional interface in terms of news about Bromley. And what I've effectively done, so I've never explained it on video before, is Counter Press Media is run by Sam Morshead. Sam Morshead is a season ticket holder at Swindon Town, really good guy. He launched Counter Press, it's his baby. He has the equivalent of From Bromley with Love, but for Swindon, it's called the Moonraker. And Sam comes from a digital media background, journalist background. And in essence, when Sam approached me, he said, what we miss now in football and lots of other sports is actual local journalism. Because we've gone into this kind of one-size-fits-all clickbait version of journalism, what we now miss, believe it or not, is what made journalism in the first place, which is local people telling local stories. And he said to me that, you know what, there's a room and a space for individual clubs to actually reinvest, or the community reinvesting in local journalists covering their clubs in detail, and not just waiting for a BBC match report or a PA Media match report or some clickbait article somewhere or there. So that's effectively what it's about, people. Thank you to those who've signed up and subscribed. I hope you've enjoyed it thus far. And at the time of recording this particular episode with Cole, I've just dropped the season preview. Colin and I were due to this was supposed to come before me dropping the season preview, but unfortunately there was circumstances out of my control, so we're actually dropping it after the season preview, but this is it in video form. And for those of you who don't want to subscribe or can't subscribe to From Bromley with Love, this is always free. So you also have that as an option as well. Now, Cole, before we get going, so I wanted to get some of that admin out of the way first. I want to start off actually by paying tribute to two long-term Bromley fans. Again, since the last time that you and I recorded, we've lost two dear friends, and that's the right way to describe it. Yeah. Dear friends. Kevin Eames passed away a few months ago, and even as I've said that to you people, like, I've just felt it in my chest right there. It's almost like you say the words and you realise the magnitude of what's happened. Kevin Eames, long-time Bromley fans. Kev has been going since I was a kid. In fact, Kev and I are pretty much the same age. We both would have started going pretty much around the same time. Kev is local, grew up in Biggin Hill, was local to Bromley, home and away until he met the love of his life and moved to New Zealand, but still followed Bromley when he could. Came back over to the UK when we made it to Wembley, would stay up in the early hours of the morning in New Zealand to watch the most important days in Bromley's history. And tragically, like I say, he passed away a few months ago in New Zealand. A lot of you listening to this will have felt it just as deeply as myself and Cole. A true shock to the system. We want to just send our thoughts to his mum and dad, Anne and Les, and his brother Dave, and Lisa, his wife, and to all of those who are affected by it. And then a mere few days ago, we also lost Heather. So again, some of you listening to this will know Heather very well. Home and away in the days when no one was watching Bromley. We're talking about all the way back to the Ryman Prem days and through the Conference South and into the National League. And again, we pass on our best wishes and condolences to her family. Graham, who still goes, her brother. For those of you who don't know the Martin family, the song that you hear every game at home, You Could Have Been, is sung by Graham and his band. And obviously Heather is his sister. So if any of you know Graham personally, please do, when you see him at the next game, just go out to him. And similarly for Kev, if his mum and dad are any games coming up, please just go and pass on a few words of condolences to them. But Cole, any I've tried my best there, Cole, but any words from yourself?
I think that's exactly it. I mean, they were Bromley fans. They were regular subscribers to the fanzine, to everything that we did, readers of what we did. But above everything, they were friends. And this, it's a sadder place without both of them. But I think it was fitting that we at least mentioned them at the start of this. So, yeah.
Most definitely, and Heather and Kev, you're always in our thoughts, and rest in power, not even peace, rest in power. So people, as you can tell, you're probably wondering, where am I? I'm still in Jamaica. For those of you who know, I've gone out to Jamaica to visit my parents. I'll be back in the UK next week, but not in time to see the first game of the season. Although I'll watch it, I think I just signed up for that international video pass, so I will be watching the first game against Shrewsbury, which obviously is away from home, but I'll be back in time for the Barnet one. And Cole, we wanted to get into it. We wanted to deep dive ahead of the new season. It's quite interesting because I'm going to start with the last thing that I saw from you online. So you replied to my article today, I think, saying, I see Bromley ending somewhere between 13th and 16th.
Yeah.
In my article, I'll admit that when I did the first version of the article, before I posted it up, I said Bromley will end 10th. I then, at the last minute, changed it to 9th. Yeah. I still actually am not sure why I did that. But I changed it to 9th. And I'll start here, Cole.
Okay.
It took me a lot to work out where I think Bromley will end this season.
Yeah.
I genuinely, and I know Andy will probably watch this, and members of the squad, Robin, lots of people watch this who are closely connected to the first team squad. It's hard to know this year simply because last year we were an unknown entity, but I think all Bromley fans knew we were no mugs and people weren't going to be able to just deal with us, right? Yeah. And swat us aside. If you look at last season, there was only one performance last season where we got swatted away, and that was Port Vale away last season, where they literally, and to an extent, Bradford away, but we were down to 10 from early draws, right? But there were very few teams who knew how to swat us to one side in League Two, which was in keeping in tradition with what we've been like in the National League. Very hard to be, uncompromising, smash mouth, and of course a 20-goal season striker.
Yeah.
The worry I have, Cole, and I want you to come in after this point here, is can we do it again now League Two know who we are?
Yeah. Well, I think, as I put in the reply to your article, if he does his magic again in the loan market, I share your view that 9th is definitely a good possibility. But we need probably two, and the same as last year, we need 2 really good signings on loan, and that will probably push us a bit up. But yeah, I've written in the couple of previews that I've done for a couple of magazines, I've said, we're not a surprise package now. People know exactly what they're going to get when they play us. And everybody, well, not everybody, but a large chunk of the division has improved this summer. They've signed well. They seem to be, I'm not worried at all about our League Two status. I think we'll be absolutely fine, but I'm not sure that we'll be quite as high up as we were last year.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we've lost from last season is Danny Imre on the right.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, it's weird because when you study Danny Imre's stats, it's not like he had loads of goals and loads of assists. Obviously, he had his fair share, but it was more the fact for me that Imre got us up the pitch. Like if you knew that a Danny Imre surge down the right moves the whole team up the pitch, and it doesn't necessarily matter if it ends in a goal or a key assist. By the end of the season, about 3 people were marking Imre every time he got on the ball. Right?
He got so many free kicks.
Yeah.
From the fact that the left back was having a nightmare. Basically, he's a very difficult player to play against.
And then rightly so, of course, he's now gone up a division to high-flying Blackpool.
Absolutely.
Blackpool are fully immersed in trying to get out of League One. So that's right for Danny Imre, that his next challenge now is a promotion-chasing side in League One. But on the other flank, we've also lost Cameron Congreve, obviously, who was on loan from Swansea. He took some time to get going, but by the end of the season, he was the new stat that people like to use is goals and assist contributions, right? By the end of the season, he was in double figures, right? And actually, I think most fans would say that by the time the season had ended, he had become a key player and component in the side, someone you can't start without, etc., right? So he's gone. He's not secured a loan move anywhere else. By all accounts, it looks like Swansea want him as part of their wider first-team squad this season. So the first thing for me is, Cheek's goals notwithstanding, there's a creativity question. First things first. We've never really, and I say this with respect to Ben Thompson. Thompson scored 6 goals last season. With respect to Jude, with respect to Ashley Charles, we've never really been a side that's creative through the middle of the park. We tend to be a side that it's about crosses into the box and surges down the wing, etc. So we've lost our first choice right and left-sided creative players. In has come Mitchell Pinnock, former Bromley, back when he was a teenager, and Ben Crowhouse. And Cole, the thing is, they are both creative, but in completely different ways. So I think we might have to play a different style of football this season.
Yeah, because Pinnock has played really well at wing back in pre-season. It's amazing his journey, really, because like what everybody will remember from him from last time he was with us was the 45 minutes in goal against Hemel Hempstead. But that's probably the living memory. And then I've sort of seen him go off. He's gone up to Scotland. He's come back down, played for Northampton, and he's such an asset. He looks a really good signing. But it does look like he's going to play wing back. So, I mean, he'll be creative from there. But that's where certainly he seems to have played for a lot of pre-season. And interesting, I mean, Crowhouse, we know how good he is, obviously. And it's great to have him back. But that's another interesting one because since he's come back, he seems to have played behind Cheek and we've gone back to one up front. So it's a real change. So I'm not sure how we'll go into Saturday. I'm not sure how we're gonna line up. It's really interesting to see what he does.
Well, you've kind of raised the issues that I've got there. So let's start with Pinnock. So Pinnock I think, yes, you're right, left wing back. I don't see Pinnock Andy could completely surprise us. I don't see Pinnock. You know how last season sometimes we flitted between 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, and then there were times last season when we played 4-2-3-1, right?
Yeah.
Now let's just say we were playing a 4-2-3-1. I don't see Pinnock being the same kind of left winger that Congreve was, right? Congreve was very much tricky feet, cutting back, ducking in, ducking outside, maybe beating you on the outside, maybe coming on the inside. Pinnock to me is, and this isn't without trying to be reductive about his style of play, because at the end of the day, Northampton wanted to keep him. It's not like Pinnock has dropped down to League Two because his legs have gone and he can't play at League One. Northampton offered him a new contract. He was player of the season last season by all accounts for Northampton in League One. So he clearly is of a level, right?
Yeah.
But Pinnock's game to me, and when you speak to the Northampton lot, is that it's all about delivery, right? And that's why I think he's offering a different skill set to Congreve. Yeah. Not that Congreve couldn't deliver, but Pinnock's game is based on pinpoint delivery. So I don't think he's necessarily about I'm going to surge past you or I'm going to show wicked wing wizardry to beat you. I think it's I'm going to work space and then I'm crossing it in for Cheek. It's very much how this is going to go. Yeah. But if we go with your point, the Pinnock is going to play wing back, where's Idris Odotayo playing?
Well, this is it. Yeah, absolutely. Unless I mean, he can play centre back, and he might have to if we don't bring another defender on loan, because obviously we've lost Jenkinson for some considerable time, unfortunately. So, I mean, that's another possibility, I guess, that he moves in more central.
But let's say, okay, I'm going to pick you on this. Let's say the whole point is to, because in fact, I saw the Chelsea pre-season game and the Tottenham pre-season game. I don't think he actually played in the Chelsea one. I'd have to go back and look at my notes, but I don't think he did. He definitely played in the Tottenham one. And in the Tottenham one, he started on the left-hand side of 3 central defenders.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Let's just say Pinnock has been signed to play left wing back, and he moves Odotayo inside to play left centre back. Who's taking the other 2 centre backs spots in?
I mean, you'd imagine. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't see us not starting Cameron at the moment.
Exactly, and he's left-footed, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. That's a really good question. You'd imagine that the starting 3 centre backs, from what we see, would be Deji, Omar, and Cameron. I think that's the way it's going to be. And obviously, then you've got Byron's always going to be there, as a very solid option. And Idris, I mean, yeah, it's like 5 to go into 3, isn't it? It's and then Jenkinson was playing on the right side of the back 3 as well, wasn't he? Until he got injured.
And until he got injured, I reckon he might have been a lock to start the season.
Oh, I thought he was. Yeah, I thought that's how he was going to be one of the nailed-on ones, because he'd started consistently in that position.
Mm. Listen, you may have ducked and dived out of my question, but by the end of this, you're giving me your starting lineup for the first game of the season. And then moving to Crowhouse, because, again, you've raised an interesting point. Crowhouse in the friendlies that we've seen him so far seems to, understandably so, be playing in that kind of number 10 role. Yeah. However, not in a number 10 behind 2 strikers. It seems more likely that it'll be number 10, almost like a support striker, behind Cheek, with possibly another attacking-based midfielder coming to maybe play 2 behind Cheek, potentially.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me at the start of pre-season, is that how... Obviously, I knew the club was sniffing around Crowhouse and wanting to try and bring back last season, never mind this season. I was hopeful that this season we might start with 2 up front. Do you reckon we're going to, or do you think it's going to be Cheek on his own?
Yeah, I thought we could be looking at probably Denanga, because obviously he's had a really good pre-season, and then you've also got Kader if you can keep him fit, because there's something there without a doubt. And then Kabamba. I mean, the options are, we've got really good options up front, and I thought it would be Cheek plus one of them. Now I'm not sure. Now I think it could be Crowhouse behind Cheek, and he could be back up front on his own, which and he's got a tough job keeping everybody happy. That's for sure.
If he goes Cheek up front on his own, where do you stand on how that? And this is a funny question, because Cheek played most of last season up front on his own and banged 25 goals. So it's not like he can't do it. And in fairness, he was doing it in the National League as well. So again, it's not like he can't do it. But this is the second season of League 2 teams seeing Cheek. I'm assuming this season teams have a plan against Cheek. Now, we could argue teams have always had a plan against Cheek. They just don't know what to do with it, right?
Yes.
Also, they don't know how to play it. But if we assume that teams are now going to have a plan where they go with, let's say they set up and go, you stop Michael Cheek, you don't let him get a sniff in the 6-yard box, you basically stop Bromley. Let's just say, really basic, but let's just say that's what a lot of clubs start thinking for this season. Do you think we've got enough about us around the rest of the squad for that not to be a problem?
I think if that turns out to be the case, then I could see him changing the shape back to having 2. I think you might go with 1 initially, but if that turns out to be the case, then I think he probably has to look at changing. And he's not, and he's shown before, he's not afraid to change the shape of a team, because we did it halfway through last season. He'll adapt to what we've got. But yeah, I think we might start with one. But like you say, if it turns out that teams have worked out something over the summer, then maybe we have to change as well.
Moving over to right wing back.
Yeah.
That to me is, and it's not just because Jenkinson's now out. I think if Jenkinson was here, it sorts out a lot of flexibility for the squad, because Jenkinson, you could go flat 4 and he can play right back.
Yeah.
Jenkinson can play right centre back in a 3, which allows you to play wing backs. With Jenkinson now out long term, there is no right back. There is just no right back, right? Now, Nathan Paul Laverley may well say, hold a minute, I played right back when I was on loan at Carl Shorten under Peter Adnai, right? So he might say, no, I am a right back. But I don't know if Andy would be willing to risk playing Nathan as a right back in League 2. That's a jump. It's weird, Cole, because in my head, I'm like, playing as a wing back, you have more protection behind you in case you make a mistake. But in a youngster at 18 years old, not that Andy's, I mean, he put Kellen Fisher there, in fairness, so it's not like Andy's not averse to doing it. But putting a youngster at right back like Nathan, I just see it as a bit of a risk. Marcus Eifel was originally bought, I think, with the mindset that he was either a winger or someone who plays in the hole, like a number 10. They've moved him out to right wing back. He's looked really good in pre-season. But that's the most obvious area of the pitch where I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, Eifel would be, if we go into the game on Saturday with a back 3 and 2 wing backs, he would be the choice purely because he's looked really good in pre-season. The Chelsea game, it was exceptional in the first half. So that would be your option. But I know a long-term 46 games, I don't know. There's, him and Nathan are young. It'll be interesting to see that. That's the area you would imagine he's looking at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I need to ask Andy the question. It's only because I'm on holiday that I haven't bothered. But you would assume that if he is going to play the loanee market, which he always does, we forget that Crowhouse is on loan, so he has actually already played the loanee market.
Yeah.
But he likes a lot of loans. Last season we had Kamal Grant, Congreve, Imre, Adam Mayer came, Corey came. I'm probably missing someone else who turned up at some point. Was Josh Thomas last season at some point? I think he was there at the beginning as well.
Ben Thompson was a loan initially, wasn't he? From Stevenage. We signed him permanently.
Ben Thompson was loan as well. So and Ben Thompson came late. He came even later than Imre and Congreve. So I do just encourage Bromley fans to be cautious about, is this our squad? Because I suspect there'll be more players coming before this window is shut. And I think it's something I put in my piece, Cole. Traditionally, Andy has always said he'd rather wait to get the right player than just get someone in for the sake of getting someone in. So it wouldn't surprise me if for like the first month of the season, Eifel is there. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Eifel, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's there with the view that Andy's kind of ducking and diving in the background, looking for someone who allows him to give him the flexibility to play flat back 4 or 3. It just seems obvious that someone has to come in on loan in that position.
That's right. Yeah, I see it the same way. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then if you look at the middle of the park, again, because of the point you've made about Crowhouse possibly playing behind Cheek, let's just say that's what we're doing initially. Let's say Crowhouse plays a 10 and it's not 2 up front, it's just Cheek and Crowhouse behind him. Yeah. Who's your 3 midfielders behind Crowhouse?
Well, I would definitely play Corey Whiteley, because basically if you play Corey Whiteley, he's always going to be playing the ball to Cheek. It was no coincidence. I think it was the Chelsea game. Both goals were from Cheek. The first one was a sublime ball from Whiteley, and you think, that's how it. He's been doing it for years.
Palace? Was that Palace?
Sorry?
Was it Palace?
I might have been Palace. Yeah, it might have been. But I can't remember which one it was. But it was, it's the combination. So I would put Whiteley in there. Thompson is a must start for me.
And
that means you're leaving out half as well. You got Honda Mark, you got Arthur's. There's so many. You got so many choices now. It's, I'm glad it's not my job.
Hold on. You're trying to talk as if you're trying to talk as if I'm not making it your job. Hold on. So you've got Whiteley, Thompson,
yeah,
and then there's 3 for 1.
Yeah, and then you've got Charles, Honda Mark, or Arthur's. Man, I don't know. Out of those 3,
I don't see how Bromley start a game without Jude Arthurs.
No, I agree actually. So there you go. Yeah. So that means Charles and Honda Mark are upset.
See, I don't see Whiteley starting. You know.
Really? Yeah.
Which sounds
ridiculous. If he doesn't.
It sounds ridiculous, but do you remember the back end of last season, or was it around? It might have been around the Wimbledon, because he scored the winner at Wimbledon.
He did, yeah.
And he scored the winner at Wimbledon because before, I need to go back and look at my notes, but I think before that Wimbledon game, he'd actually been out of the side for a while.
Yeah.
He'd almost Andy had almost removed him from the firing line because Corey had started to look like. Remember, Corey's a player in the promotion season. He basically played every single minute of every single game, right? And I think Corey's I think he's 34 now, or about to turn 34. I think someone like Corey, and to an extent Cheek as well, if you want to get longevity out of them, I think you have to manage minutes. I don't think we can go into this season being like, right, Corey plays 90 minutes every game, or Cheek plays 90 minutes every game, because the advancing years have to matter in some regard. So I agree with you that Corey is actually integral to how we play as a side, but I just wonder if he's at a stage now in his career where we manage his minutes rather than say you start no matter what.
Yeah, but at least we have the options when with this. You know, it's you wouldn't be disappointed if any of those 5 or 6 start. Right? They're all they can all do a good job. But yeah, you asked me who I'd start with. That he would be one of the first names on the team sheet for me. But absolutely, I guess also you have to consider the player welfare and the fact that it's not only 46 league games, it's also at least 3 EFL trophy games, 1 Carabao Cup game, FA Cup games. There's a lot of football.
Yeah, and actually, funny enough, just before we press record on this, I was just writing the Virtu Cup games into my diary because I think they've just released them now in terms of.
I haven't seen that. Okay.
Yeah, cool. So Palace are up first in September at home. Stevenage away in October.
Okay.
And Wimbledon at home in November. Right. Now, here's the thing, right? Last year we got knocked out, obviously, after 3 games. I actually would like the club to take it seriously. I'm not saying they weren't last season, but what I mean by that is games like that make sure that people get game time.
Yeah.
If you get where I'm coming from. Because it was 3 and out last season. I think things like that contributed to why players like Topoloj were like, well, I'm off. Because there's no other way to get game time. And although there's a lot of games, the further you go in a competition like Virtu Trophy or whatever it's called, the more you can actually make sure your squad isn't getting restless.
That's right.
So I'd like to think obviously, I'm not saying you must play his first 11, but the whole point of improving the squad this close season, was about ensuring that there are 2 11s in essence, or something approaching 2 11s. So I'd like to think that we can go as far as we can in that particular competition. Also, Cole, before I move on to some off the pitch stuff, final one. Let's say it is 2 up front. Pick one. Who plays with Cheek? Kabamba, Dananga, or Kinga?
At the moment, Dananga. Because I think he's had an exceptional pre-season, and he obviously really wants to get going again. When you just lost almost the whole season to injury, I would give him the nod. I think Kabamba can do a job without a doubt. Got 2 goals at the end of last season. I would always have him on the bench because I think he's a great option to bring on. But I would start, if you're starting with 2, I'd start with Marcus and Chi. Yeah.
Cool. So I said off the pitch. Let me not go off the pitch first. Because I want to catch you before you try and say you can't answer it. Starting lineup Saturday, Shrewsbury.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Smith, obviously.
Yep.
Omar, Deji, Cameron.
That's your 3 centre backs.
Yep. Then wing backs, Pinnock and Eiffel. Cheek up front with Crowhouse, and then the middle of the pitch, Thompson, Whiteley, and Arthurs.
Okay. Well, people listening to this, please get in the comments below and let me know. Let me know what you think about Cole's team there. Just because I'm not going to leave Cole hanging like that. I am going to say. Actually, I'll make your back 5. I think that is the back 5. I think that's right, actually. The only question mark I have about the back 5 is I wonder, it would be a massive risk, but I wonder if they leave out Omar and bring in Idris and put Cameron in the middle of the 3. So you would have Deji on the right, Carl Cameron in the middle. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I just have this notion in my head that the person they want in the middle is the organizer. But I don't know. Cameron's obviously left-footed, so it makes sense he'd go on the left of 3. But maybe there's some question marks there. Then in the middle of the park, I actually have Ashley Charles. I think Ashley Charles has to play because he's the only person who's not the only person. That's wrong. He's the best suited person for the number 4 role in the squad. Then I have Arthurs, Thompson, Crowhouse, Cheek. I think that's how it's going. And the only reason I'm saying that, if we were playing someone like Newport County away, with respect to Newport County, I'd be saying a completely different style of team. So I might throw in a Corey Whiteley, or I might throw in 2 up front. But because Shrewsbury are a relegated team, and because Michael Appleton is their manager and he's managed at a higher level and so on and so forth, I think there's just an argument to say you're a bit cautious in the first game away from home against a recently relegated side.
You can imagine they'll be looking to start really quick because they need to get the fans back on side after it was not a great season last year. So
exactly. So I just don't see. General tradition under Andy is that you go for let's establish the clean sheet first and worry about everything else after that. So I can see us setting up something akin to that.
Yeah.
Let's talk off the pitch, Cole. The new standard. Today's date is the 31st of July. The game against Gillingham, where apparently something's going to be ready, is the 6th of September. So I make it basically a month.
Yeah.
I spoke to Robin just before I left on holiday. And I said to Robin, you need to, at the time I said, Robin, we need to do an interview so the fans know what's going on. And in fairness to Robin, I'm going to completely defend Robin here. Robin said, yeah, Mash, let's do it. And he actually said to me, can we do it today after the match?
Right.
What game was that? Chelsea. And I said, I've got to go, I said, I've got to do some stuff. Now, obviously, and Robin's words to me were, it is actually important that I get it out to the fans what's going on. Now, obviously, I then went to Jamaica, and I think the same day I landed in Jamaica or the next day, there was the video from the club, which is great, cool. In that video, if I'm not mistaken, Robin suggests that something's going to be ready on the 6th of September.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah.
The only thing I can see being ready is what's currently up right now, right? But and I'm sure, like I said, Robin might be watching this, or people that come out watch this, and they might be saying, "Oh no, Mash, we're going to be like we've got 4.5 weeks to go. We're going to have something there." But it's not so much to me about filling out the rest of the space. I'm more concerned about what passes health and safety. That's all I really care about. So, is it now? Are we now in a case where it's about let's see what we can get done and have health and safety pass it by the 6th? or is it about trying to get the whole structure put in place and then no one can go in it by the? Like, I don't see how this works.
No, I mean, you would imagine. I mean, you know, they want to get it right and they want to get it in a good state, and it's got to be passed. It's like I can't see it being ready in any capacity for quite some time. And I'm not sure you want to rush it now. You know, it's been since February that we haven't had the East Terrace. As long as they can accommodate all the season ticket holders in the ground, and obviously put aside a section in the Glen Beverley for away fans, I think we have to stay as we were at the end of last season until it's ready. You know, I'm not talking about the stuff underneath. That's going to be even longer.
Oh, that's no. You see the stuff underneath. I don't see any of that being ready till next season.
No, I don't. I agree. Yeah, and
I don't even think they should even worry about that till next season.
It is what it is. You know, it makes you wonder if we weren't better off just putting a roof over the old one. But you know, we are where we're at. So, but I can't. Yeah, I would get it ready and have it all ready to open, rather than doing it in bits, because I just think that's going to be a logistical nightmare with turnstiles and stewarding and.
So do you reckon? So in my head, what I thought might happen, I thought they might section. So where the away fans are at the moment in the end of the Glen Beverley, I thought they might reopen that to home fans, section off that side, and then instead of directing away fans in and round the Glen Beverley section, they just go into the part of the stand that is allowed to have people on it. Even though that was never, I don't think that's supposed to be for away fans, but I just wonder if that's what they'll try and do initially.
But they have to provide seats for away fans.
Of course, yeah.
So I'm not sure, unless I just don't see how it's going to work.
In that case, it can't work, because what, are you going to say that some home fans can go in that stand, walking past away fans who are still in the Glen Beverley stand?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't see it. But
so let me give you some options.
Yeah.
If you're in Robin's shoes, do you try? I'll give you three things. Choose an adventure. Do you try to get as much of it done by the 6th of September and say Gillingham at home? We've got something to open. It's grand opening of whatever it is. That's option one. Option two. Do you set kind of like a half structure in mind and say, right, we're going to go halfway down that side and get that ready, nothing else done, so that something is ready to be opened on the 6th? Or do you do another video to the fans and say, you know what? Sorry about this. Nothing's going to be ready by Christmas. And you just open it in the new year when it actually can be ready.
Yeah, I think I'd go with option 3. I think just say it is what it is. Building is a nightmare. Things are always delayed. It's just, that's where we're at. You know, I've pointed out on one of the Facebook pages, London City Lionesses put their season tickets out this week. They're not selling any season tickets for the East Terrace.
Yeah.
So, you know, that probably tells you what you need to know.
But then say Robin did come back out and say, right, you know what, we're delaying it. We want to get this right. We're nowhere near where we need to be. Timeline's been screwed. We're going to just delay till the start of 2026. What do you expect fan reaction to be?
Well, you know what? As long as every season ticket holder can go and see the games, even if it's still what we had to do last year, what we had to say if we were coming or not, as long as everyone who's put their money up and said, I want to come to every game, can get into every game, I think that's just the way it is. I mean, some people will go crazy, but then they're just looking for a reason to moan. You know, I would rather they were just up front and just said, look, this is where we're at. But you will get to see every game if you bought one, if you bought a season ticket. It's tough on the club, right? Because with the PSR thing, the less money we have coming in through the gate, the less money Andy has to spend next year. Possibly we could end up having less money to spend next year than we do this season, because it's all based on what you've got coming in. So obviously it's in the club's interest to have it ready as soon as we can, so the gates can go up. But that's the pressure they're under, really.
People, as ever, like I say, I'm promising you lot this, right? Okay, this season, provided Cole can, we're actually going to do this properly. We're actually going to do these things on a more regular basis. Because, like I say, I'm well aware that not everybody wants to subscribe to the new From Bromley with Love website. The pages at the bottom, people, www.frombromleywithlove.news. I'm well aware that not everyone wants to subscribe. So this will be where you can get like the free version of some stuff, right? Yeah. Cole, I'll leave you. Let's end it with two things. Only. First one, we both agree that Andy probably is playing the low market and is probably looking for a versatile right centre back. We both agree that. However, I find it very hard to believe that Andy would only get 2 loanees in for a season, Crowhouse and whoever that particular position turned to be. Every other position actually looks relatively stacked on the pitch. So if he did get another loanee, in addition to those 2 positions, where would you want him to try and get? Because it would likely be a young player from a Premier League club, etc., etc. Where would you like him to get another loanee in to challenge position-wise?
Other than right wing back, I don't think we need another. I don't think we need another striker. But so maybe somewhere in the midfield, just some extra. Lucky you say, if they're young, like a Congreve type role where they're versatile and you can move them into different positions, then I guess a versatile midfielder. And if somewhere like the Championship, that would be great.
That's why I asked you the question, because I think it does show the relative strength in depth of the squad. Because I was writing it down this morning thinking, I don't think Andy needs to get. Like last year, like I say, he got loads of loanees in.
Yeah, that's right.
You could say that's because we were going up a level and he had to. But even in the National League, he got loads of loanees in. This is the first season I'm looking going, I don't know if he needs to get that many loanees in this year.
We fielded literally 2 first teams for pre-season year. Like we've had fixtures on the same day, and you've looked at both teams and thought, actually, you know what, we could start with that in League 2 and we would do all right. And that's 2 11s. So it shows you the strength and depth that we've got now, which we definitely didn't have this time last year.
Definitely. So again, like I say, people, listen, we've gone nearly 45 minutes there, just about to come up to it. So we're going to bring this initial pre-season review to a close. Neither Cole or myself, Andy, I know you're watching this, neither Cole nor myself believe that Bromley will make the playoffs this season. But if the Bromley squad are listening to this, please do prove us wrong. But no, I don't. I'm not convinced that we're good enough to always be in and around it. I will admit that I looked at some of the clubs this year and some of the signings. I thought, hold on a minute.
Yeah. Hold
on. We're improving, but you seem to be doing some serious stuff. And again, I think that might speak to different budgets and like MK Dons have basically bought a League One side. So there are levels to this thing. Last thing, actually, Cole, just interesting. Sorry, this is the last thing. I was listening to a podcast. For those who want to find it, I think it's called the NTT 20 podcast. They cover loads of EFL football. They're really good at what they do, and they have Barnet down as automatic promotion. Now these guys know their stuff. They've got us down as 16th, which matches with you because you said somewhere between 13th to 16th.
Yeah.
And they've got Barnet as automatic promotion. And I was like, oh, okay. And I don't really know what my question is to you on that, but I guess maybe what I'm thinking is, does anyone really know anything?
No.
is the case.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen Notts County between 6th and 16th from different predictions. So, yeah, exactly. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed. And actually, the final thing, people, this is the final thing, I'm being serious. It's worth noting, people, that Morecambe are currently on the brink of possibly going out of business.
Yeah.
Wednesday look like they might be in serious issues as well. But I'll focus on Morecambe because Morecambe were a basket case last season, right? And when we got promoted to League Two, all my friends who are Football League fans who've been through League One, League Two, always said to me, every year in League Two, there is a club that is just out of control. Like there's craziness going on. Now, this pre-season, it's not clear to me yet who are the obvious basket case clubs who don't have their affairs in control. So as much as Cole's saying 13th to 16th and I'm saying 9th or 10th or whatever, I do just want to be mindful when I say to people that there's no obvious relegation candidate because they've got off-field problems going on.
Yeah.
So it could be a very interesting League Two season because you can't automatically go, well, that team, like everyone knew last season, Morecambe are going down. Everyone knew pretty much in August, it was like, well, they're definitely going down. So we only need to be worried about one more spot. So we do need to be mindful that it's not as clear cut this season as to who might be the club that just goes into free fall. But before I wrap it then, Cole, any final words?
Yeah, looking forward to another season. A second season in the Football League, which is staggering in itself if you consider where we've come from. Just going to enjoy it as much as I can, really.
Enjoy it. Andy Woodman, I know, is telling his squad playoffs. In fact, he did an interview with BT London Sport earlier today where he was saying, if we're not going for playoffs, what's the point in being in the league? So we already know what he's on. So good luck to the squad. Good luck to Andy Woodman over the course of the season. And people, like I say, Colin and I are going to try and do this very regularly this season. I need to work it out with Colin when he's available. But let me try and say at the bare minimum, we will try and do this at least every 2 weeks. Maybe more.
That sounds right.
We'll see. But Colin and I will discuss. We hope you've enjoyed this particular episode. You can find Cole on Twitter. Cole, what's your Twitter handle?
At ColinHead70.
Yeah, at ColinHead70. So you can find him on Twitter, people. The Bromley with Love is on Twitter at Bromley with Love. And of course, if you want to subscribe to the Bromley with Love website, the link is below. I've been Machel St. Patrick here. Cole has been Cole, and we will be back very, very soon.
Cheers.